everybody. Sunday is Father's Day, and we know many of you will be spending time with or remembering the special men, the dads, the father figures in your life.
Yeah, even brothers. Happy Father's Day to them. But how do you do it today? I have dads tell me all the time how they struggle with how to be a good father in modern times. We're joined right now by motivational speaker Dr. Rigsby, a friend of the show, and clinical psychologist Amanda Hanson. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Dr. Rigsby, I know you're a dad. You're a father of 4. Your father instilled so much in you, but not everybody grows up with a dad. I mean, I leaned on key father figures in my life. Can old school fathering work in 2023?
Absolutely, it can. First of all, Adrienne and Marquis, it's great to be with you both. Yes, it can. And I think that the key is influence. Influence is missing in every segment of our society, especially in business. I believe John Maxwell was spot on when he said leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. That old school mentality where it's not about what you look like, it's about who you are. I think that is still needed in our culture today. I had a father that was a man who showed tremendous influence in me by living a life of influence. However, there were many in our neighborhood who did not have fathers, but there were many father figures, old school values in the neighborhood. There were two papas and big daddies. There were big mamas and Medeas. Yeah. You know, and I think we can return to that kind of neighborhood culture.
Well, your father sounds like a wonderful man. Dr. Hanson, we all know how important father-daughter relationships are. I was blessed with a wonderful girl dad myself. What are some specific ways that a daughter can strengthen her relationship with her dad or father figure?
I think it's really important to be curious about him as well. Often being the daughter of a father who maybe is emotionally disconnected at times or not comfortable with being in conversations that are of an emotional tone. I think if the daughter starts to ask him questions and be curious about him, Dad, what did you love to do when you were little? What was your biggest dream? What is your greatest regret? What do you fear now? What do you worry about? Opening conversation, I think then she can set the tone to invite her father in to have conversations with her as well.
Yeah, and I think especially in adulthood, you realize, you know, it's my turn to also ask some questions of my parents. It's not just them taking care of me anymore. I want to know how they're doing and what lights their fire.
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, how are
Agreed,
you?
agreed.
Dr. Rigsby, I think even those who don't go to church agree forgiveness is a big part of fathering, mercy, patience. How has faith helped you father?
Oh my goodness, it's my guiding light. I'll tell you, I stay on my knees.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
and you know, regardless of your belief system, the Holy Scriptures, they're loaded with common sense. Walk in a right path. Keep looking straight. Be filled with mercy. I think as a dad, grace and mercy have been the two most important companions, and they lead me toward having a forgiving spirit. A lot of times I just think back to when I was a child and realized, gosh, I needed some grace and I needed some mercy. And so do my 4 sons who are grown to this day. They need grace and mercy. That helps them grow and develop in a very healthy way.
Yeah, and help you forgive yourself when you make mistakes, because that's a part of growing up too.
Yeah, forgiveness cures a multitude of ills, that's for sure. And Dr. Hanson, how can we support, other than conversation and asking how they're doing, how can we support the men in our lives so that they can strive to be the best versions of themselves?
I think it's important that we as women lead that emotional tone of what it is that is required in healthy relationships. We're lacking so much divine masculine, integrated, healthy divine masculine right now. And it's on us as a wife of 27 years and as a mother to 3 sons to guide them and show them what is required in healthy relationships. And that's emotional intimacy. And by emotional intimacy, it comes down to presence. Intentional presence when you are with people that you love. Your phone is down. You are really engaged and curious about the person who's speaking that you're interacting with at that time. Because it's not just about physical attention and being in the space. There's a big difference between that and emotional intimacy that fosters beautiful trust and vulnerability in the relationship.
And thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.